Ooh, it's me. I'm the ghost. I'm the ghost. Hi everyone. I'm the ghost. I'm not actually. Uh, but you know. So today's stream idea, probably not a good one. Probably a bad stream idea, but what if you know, what if I just read creepypastas to you all? Finding Mario, scary Mario games, regular Mario, scary games. It's hard work. And they're a variable length, okay? It's hard to vamp on them, it's hard to balance the audio for them. In comparison, pasting them into a Google Doc from creepypasta fandom wikis, much easier. And I can just ad-lib the music. I didn't I didn't think of what the music should be. Uh, Hold on, let me like look up scariest uh copyright free Halloween music. Surely this will be nothing AI slop adjacent. Certainly we'll get some real winners from this Google search. Uh no, I mean we're not gonna get real winners, but that's okay. You know, sometimes that's okay. Here we go. Jukebox unlocked 5 hours in capitals of spooky video game Halloween music. This has gotta be good. It's time. Did you know it's time? That's what I say when before the music starts playing. That's what I say when it's time. um anyway. Yeah. That's kinda loud actually. They kinda made that one a little bit loud. They kinda what are all these POV? You left Zelda music playing in another room. POV, you fell asleep while playing Minecraft in 2011. Dude, the internet's fake. I need to get to reading these goddamn stories before I blow my top, before they're done with me. Because we only got an hour, and I did get quite a few of these. So you can see here, I didn't format it well. Behind the reading rainbow fact, it's aggregate sources. Most of these I found via this Bluesky account. Luigi, quiet down. I'm trying to. Luigi. Luigi, okay, just ignore him. Anyway, this guy, Out of Context Creepypastas guy, they had some really good stuff. Hold on, I need to unmute the site so you can hear this.
Along of a hanged Luigi immediately popped up.
Hanged Luigi?
Along with a very frightening scare cord.
Yeah, so anyway, it's that sort of stuff. It's the good stuff, you know. So a lot of the picks from today have been like finding the originals that were posted, you know. And I haven't really checked these, so they might have some stupid shit in them. Like I believe I've organized them so we have some patently stupid ones like this. I mean it's right here. And then we have some actual ones. But follow that account if you want this sort of thing, because I was a hack. I'm a hack. I'm sorry. Anyway, and this also is like a top 10 Mario creepypastas you have never heard of. It's like from the channel with the you know, that's right, Sackboy really killed himself. It's like that type of thing. So it's really not. Luigi, stop having an orgasm. It's really not. It's really not that important. I'm not giving them the credit. The credit goes to the top link guy. I don't trust the slop characters. I need to turn Luigi down actually. That's Banjo-Kazooie, but it's too loud in my ears. They're gonna give me a Banjo-Kazooie lobotomy. They're gonna stick a jiggy through my frontal lobe. And I need to be able to read, okay? I need to be able to focus my mind. As you can see, this first one, A Haunting Most Mario by Memandator. You can see Mario has 0, 24, 1, 5, 0. That's a pretty scary number. I would say that's a 36. You know, that's 6 squared. Perfect square is pretty scary because they don't occur in nature. They're man-made. They're frightening. Actually, no, they'd kind of do appear in nature. It's not as like they're useful. Squares are. I, I don't. That's not true. My problem is that I'm a math major. Welcome to the scary hell place, and you can die. Once I wanted to play Mario, but I didn't have a Nintendo for it, and I was at a flea market. This old man I saw had Mario and a NES, but the label was not there. The man said it was owned by a dead kid named Jim. I just said whatever, because I was eager to play Mario on my new NES. I mean, yeah, who cares if a kid died? That's a retro gaming bargain, dude. NESs are not cheap nowadays. I mean, they're kind of cheap. They're comparative to the Switch 2. They're cheap, but they're old enough where there's some scarcity going on. I plugged it in, and everything seemed normal. I played World 1-1 and did it. Then I tried the old warp pipe trick, and I got to the pipes. And instead of the usual text that said, "Welcome to the warp zone," it said, "Welcome to the scary hell place." I thought it was weird. I said, whatever, and used the furthest pipe. The intro screen showed the words, "Death World 666. Holy fuck, man. This is really getting frightening. The graphics seemed off, and it sounded like screams happened from the game. It was super scary, but I wasn't scared and kept playing. After a while, I hit a place that was impossible to pass because of spikes, so I had to die. I kept trying until my lives were at 0. I thought it was game over, but Mario came back, and this time it looked like his face was bloody. As I started playing the level, it turned out a hidden cloud level in it, and it looked like Mario had angel wings. A spooky digital voice came out of the Nintendo that sounded like it said, "No hope," as I was about to grab a mushroom. The screen went black. That's pretty scary. That's, you know, personally, it's a little bit of a noob shit. I personally have no hope without playing Mario, but I guess if you need Mario to be hopeless, that's fine, you know. Getting some assistance can be good. I reset the NES, and the game came up. This time the title screen was different, and Mario's face was bloody. It scared me so much that I reset it again. And as it came on, the digital voice said, "You can't run from the funk." That's not scary. Music is not scary. The screen was hyper realistic, and it showed Mario again, only this time his face was me and my family's face, and we were skeletons, and it was so realistic. I couldn't believe it. I was compelled to try the game again. This time I started it as the first Goomba walked towards Mario. Mario turned towards the screen and started screaming, "No mas! No mas!" It sounded like high quality CD audio, and also blast processing. That's kind of fire. Oh, realistic Mario. Speaking a romance language. Like Sonic CD, they should put that in Mario CD when that eventually comes out. Because clearly that's going to come out soon. We're just getting to the precipice of technological development. I screamed and turned off the game. I put it away. Later that week, I noticed my family acting distantly. I decided to research Mario games, and I found that Mario was in a secret game that was only released in arcades on Friday the 13th on June 6th. Awesome. 1997. It seemed weird, so I started playing video games again. I decided to put in the Mario game again. I loaded it up and saw my save file. I clicked it, and Mario said, "Why you no stop playing my game?" I didn't take his warning and started playing anyway. I got up to Bowser and I won, but when I got to Peach, there was Toad there instead. And he said Peach is dead. Fuck, dude. And a ghost face came up. It had a lady's face, and Princess Peach is a lady. That's true. Fuck, dude. This is scary. This is some real frightening shit. Women are. This is scary. Cool. Just like being in middle school again. Afraid of talking to girls. I reset the game for the last time. I opened up my save and it changed from my name. It said, Jim died, bro. Ah. And my mom walked in and she screamed. I was dead the whole time. And guess what? My name was Jim. So anyway, I don't know if any of you guys have experienced anything like that. It might have just been a bad dream. But anyway, my mom sold the cartridge at a yard sale, so I don't have it anymore. But you should believe it because it's true. Wow, there's some real symmetry there. There's a really like beautiful suggestion of a hell. It's very Cothinian. You referencing FNAF as if it's literature, but you know, Ultimate Custom Night, or whatever. I haven't played that game. Note, this is like affixed to the wiki entry, by the way. The author wanted you to know it was a parody, which I mean, it was pretty clear it was. It was pretty obvious that it was, buddy. I think you did a good job. This is a funny one. 5 stars, 100 out of 10. This one didn't have a credit directly on it. It was on the Some Ordinary Gamers wiki, and I feel like I should know what that is, but I don't, and I didn't look it up. So that's the credit. It's Watching by this rival from Pokemon 2. I need to write this quickly. It's Watching. I'll just jump right in. I don't have time to tell many details, but I'll try my best to tell you try my best to tell you all of what put me near the brink of my sanity and is the reason for me typing this. Around 3 months ago, I wanted to play some games because I had completely finished all of my other ones start to finish. It's important. The repetition is important. It was late and I was tired. Also, I was drained because of a paper that I had to write and desperately needed to play some kind of game to rest. Why didn't you go to bed? Plot hole. People don't rest in the game, they rest in bed. Gaming is a serious activity. Plot hole. I didn't have any money to spare for anything new, though. I had already spent most of it on rent at the time. I decided in the end to improvise and dig through all of my old games and see if I could find just a single game I had not finished. I did. I found my old N64 and Super Mario 64. I got a surge of warming memories when I found the cartridge. Did you... Never mind. It's probably not meant like that. I remembered getting all the way around 76 stars. I let out a small smile and noticed something. Mario looked... Also, how did you do it that quick? I had to play Super Mario 64 recently and it took me... Oh, fuck. It took me like multiple nights to get 50 stars, and maybe I'm just bad at that game, but like 76 stars is kind of a lot. Like that's... Did you win? Did you beat the game, or you just got 76 stars for kicks? You sick fuck. Sorry. Shouldn't be mean to this person. This fake person. Or sorry, real person. I let out a small smile and noticed something. Mario looked as if he was frowning, like he was stranded and alone. I still wanted to play, but something about that frown was just... unnerving. Yet I still stuck the cartridge into the slot and flipped the power switch. As it started, it froze on the title screen. I got a little frustrated with it and tried again. The same thing happened. Come on. I mumbled angrily. The game just simply refused to play. Despite countless attempts, I simply could not get the game to work correctly. I tried cleaning it and blowing into it, but nothing would work. Finally, just when I was about to throw the controller out of blind rage, it worked. Wow, that's so beautiful. Yeah, it's like that sometimes. Old consoles can be finicky. I mean, modern consoles can be finicky. All hardware degrades. It's kind of upsetting. But it's important to understand the temporary nature of this world and all things in it. And that's why preservation efforts are so important. Actually, not to get totally sidetracked, but I've really been thinking about the newest fake Miyamoto quote. The one about like films, about how films are eternal but games stop running. Like, no dog, nothing is eternal. All things in this world are temporary, actually, like it's your fault if a game stops running. You're the company that sells it and maintains its servers. B, all things are temporary. C, he probably didn't even fucking say that. I don't know. I don't know if I've gone off about this on stream before. I might have. My short-term memory is kind of fried. Has been for a little bit, but I don't know. What am I gonna do about it? But live in the world. Anyway, all right. I exclaimed. I can read. The title screen was almost normal. Almost. The face of Mario on the title screen had a slight frown as well. I tried to mess with his face, but it wouldn't let me so much as move the head at all. Damn, that's the scariest thing ever, getting rid of the funny Mario minigame. So I shook it off and gathered a bit of courage and selected Start. My profile was right where I had left it. I noticed, just like I had anticipated, I had exactly 76 stars. Okay, yeah. So I attempted to play my profile, you know, to see where I had exactly left off. Oh, so the 76 stars was in the past. You remembered getting 76 stars. Sorry, I missed that detail. Reading comprehension 0. This was a childhood effort. That makes sense. Okay. It seemed to freeze, and this time I grew furious. Why won't you work? I yelled at the top of my lungs. Quote from my boss. Quote from Michael Scott from The Office. I don't know. It's a bad joke. I need to move on. Goes past it. As if the game had heard me. It started. It surprised me a bit, but then I just scolded myself for being so impatient. I was on the inside of the castle. Heck, they're drowning me in fucking ellipses, dude. Everything was exactly the same. Most of the game was completely normal. Every now and again the game would freeze, but nothing I couldn't just restart the game for. Another thing I would occasionally see was I feel like that's more important, was a pair of eyes staring at me. Yeah, that's probably more important than the freezing. That probably is a more important issue. I knocked it off as simply, you knocked it off? What? What are you, a dark type Pokemon? Or I guess dark types get thief to dark. Is knockoff a dark type move? Comment down below. Do I know my Pokemon moves? Just simply a graphics glitch. It was only when I reached the staircase to the final stage that things really began to get strange. I had all 120 stars. Christ, dude. You played that long with game freezing? And I began to ascend the staircase, but the staircase never ended. I started to run up the staircase, but it wouldn't stop, so I decided to turn around and try to see if maybe it was a glitch and just try to go up again. The staircase still never ended, though I was going up, or sorry, down. I was going up, not down, like normal. No, that was a joke. I misread it. Down, not up. I got a little freaked out by this. Yeah, you should. Yeah, and frantically ran both ways, trying to find a way to get off the staircase. Then I noticed Mario's face. It looked like he was frowning. Small text box appeared stating, "It's waiting." It's sad. I'm gonna stop doing the exaggerated pauses. I thought they were funny, but now it just feels like I'm being annoying. Mario then seemed to sink into the floor, and his drowning animation was played. But as he sunk into the floor, shouldn't it play the sand animation? Plot hole. The drowning animation makes him float up, so if he floated up out of the ground while sinking into it, that'd be kind of weird. I do like that they let you see his corpse float a little bit. That is like a nice thing about Mario 64. Like, they don't shy away from the brutality inherent to the Mario canon. I looked at the screen bewildered as to what had just happened. Then it spawned me into a pitch black room. All that was there was the pair of eyes. It just stared at Mario. I took the controller and tried to move quickly away from the eyes, but they followed in pursuit. Okay, is it Lavender Town? Are they seriously playing Lavender Town? Is this the Let's Go orchestration? Yes, yes it is. Sorry. Everybody loves the Let's Go orchestration. Comment down below if you love the Let's Go orchestration. After multiple attempts to escape the gaze of those eyes, a text box appeared. It's great. Cool text box. Thanks for trying. But yes. I mean, it did say it's watching, not it's speaking, so that's fair enough. Then I moved Mario away, and to my surprise, the eyes didn't follow me. Damn, you won. In fact, they soon disappeared into the darkness. As I ran, it felt as if Mario was growing more and more uneasy. As I ran, it felt as if Mario was growing. Those who grow. Sorry. Then Mario seemed to be running into a wall. I panned the camera around to see the eyes directly in front of Mario. This time I jumped a little bit, dropping the controller. Cool jump scare. How realistic are the eyes? Because like the thumb image... Hold on, let me like highlight a piece of text here so I can come back. Thumb image was like a... Like those are just dots. Like you can read those as eyes if you're being paranoid, but I don't think that's like enough to be scary, you know? They should have specified it was realistic bloodshot human eyes with realistic blood. That's good writing right there. Okay, anyway. I quickly switched the console off. I needed desperately to get away from that game. I decided that I was just tired and needed some sleep to clear my mind. I hadn't slept very well in 4 days, and I knew that the lack of sleep could possibly result in hallucinations. So I softly lifted my head into my pillow and let the warm comfort of sleep overtake me. This is what I was saying. You should have just taken a nap, bro, and he's gonna need a nightmare. As I did, I felt like I was falling into a dark abyss. I saw those eyes. They were all around me as I fell. They stared blankly right at me. I felt cold fear surge through me, yet I could not move or scream, nor do anything at all. All I could do was fall and fall. Sorry, that was cut off the text there. I'm setting myself up the bomb. Let me just get rid of the fact. If someone pays for it, I can bring the fact back, but it's just kind of taking up screen real estate. Need to stop setting myself up the bomb. Right, anyway. All I could do was fall and fall. It felt like an eternity had passed, yet I still stood there, frozen, as I fell with those eyes looking right at me. Then I heard a small whisper in the dark reaches of my dream. Why? It asked. After that word, I jolted out of my bed, almost instantly hitting my head on the top of a lamp. Fuck, dude. Organize your apartment better. Don't let that happen. It was around midnight when I woke up. I rubbed my head with a groan. Then I got up and watched TV for a bit. Something seemed to be drawing me back to that game. I decided that maybe since I had received sleep, best way of putting it, I would be fine, so I started the game again. This time Mario was smiling. This greatly lifted my spirits. You know, that's... You never know what someone else is going through, you know? You can always smile for others. He is. He heard the letter Y and he was like, ow, fuck. That letter's gonna kill me. Wait until he hears about Z. Wait until they hit him with Z. Pokemon Legends YA. Young adult. Okay. And seemed to confirm my hunch. I selected play and started my profile again. I was right back in the lobby of the castle, and I slowly made my way all the way to the top of the castle, to the staircase, feeling a bit more confident that this time I would be able to make it to the top. No problems at all. Yeah, see, no problems at all. As I opened the door, I looked at the staircase for a moment. Then I ran up the staircase. This is good. This is good storytelling. Oh, when you hear the letter Y, that's right. You turn into a dog. Pretty scary. Your transformation it's like Animorphs. It's kind of brutal. I always was scared of the Animorphs books. I know they were supposed to be like regular children's books and not horror, but I always kind of thought they were horror just because I didn't like the transformations. There was always something of body horror in that. This time I made it to the top with little trouble at all, and even let out a sigh of relief when I reached the top. I just jumped down the hole and continued on. The level was the same, but to my surprise and horror, there were no enemies in sight. I grew a little nervous. As I continued along, I noticed the game would freeze for about 2 seconds every now and then. I also noticed everything that moved had stopped. The platform sat there virtually motionless. They're always virtual, but okay. This made it almost impossible for me to complete the stage without any form of hack. Eventually, I reached the end of the stage. It was almost impossible, but I did do it. I jumped down the pipe. I was in the same black room as before, but there weren't any eyes. I ran around the room looking for some sort of way out of it. Eventually, the staircase music began to play, and there were eyes moving towards me. Smiling. Eyes can't fucking smile, dumbass. They don't got teeth. I turned Mario away, but the eyes were right there in front of him. Mario's body warped and the game froze. I hesitated, but I restarted the system. On the start, I heard the staircase music again. Just stop playing, dude. Just stop. This time Mario's head was missing from the title screen. I also noticed that there was a new profile that had replaced the old one. It had 0 stars. Fuck, dude. You had a complete save file and they erased it. That is actually incredibly evil. After I mustered some courage, I selected it. I was shaking a little bit from apprehension of what was to come. It loaded me up to Mario's body on the ground in the void, just lying there. So, these eyeballs has mouths. That's scary. No, I agree. Because in the picture it didn't have a mouth. In the picture it was just white dots. It was very, I don't know. Like this is not descriptive enough. I mean, maybe there's teeth secretly. Maybe they got secret teeth. Is this one gonna be over soon? This one's okay. This one's getting old. Just die already. Just let Mario kill you already, bro. After multiple attempts to make anything happen by pressing the buttons randomly, I decided that I should restart the console. Oh my god, stop! You've had to restart the console genuinely like 7 times at this point. Like, just assume the game is broken. Just stop. I felt something grip me though right before I could turn it off. I looked up. What? I said. Mario had stood up and was now looking right at the screen. His face was now like the eyes. He was staring right at me. I could feel his stare. I started to shake. The stare was identical to the eyes I kept seeing. I was then teleported to the flying stage, but I was never put on a platform. I was just falling. Falling? As I continued to fall, it got darker and darker. The further I fell, until Mario hit the ground with a crunch. Suicide Mario? I heard a faint whisper. That's right, Mario really killed himself. Nearly the same as in my dream. Why? It asked. I pissed my pants immediately. I turned the console off quickly. I was shaking and felt paranoid. I checked my room repeatedly. I tried everything to calm myself down, but I couldn't shake the feeling that I was being watched closely. I thought to myself, it's just a game. Right? Every creepypasta is Sonic.exe, dude. I wanted to know though, why was this happening? I decided that I was going to finish what I had started, and I proceeded to turn the system one more time. As I did, Mario's head had reappeared and was smiling once again. I was confused. Was it playing with me? I noticed my file was back. I nervously selected the file and it started. I was automatically started in Big Boo's haunt. I looked around and then went inside. It was pitch black and only a faint, small light illuminated the room. Why do you torture me? Sorry, I should make it scarier. Why do you torture me? It asked. I saw the eyes approach me this time. There was a figure that slowly came into the light. It was Mario. Wow. The game simply froze and crashed with an error message saying that the memory had been corrupted. After that, the game would never work no matter how hard I tried to get it to work. Worst of all, I kept thinking about those eyes being Mario. Was he angry that people played and purposely killed him for the fun of it? That we were blindly unaware of the hidden pain that the mustached plumber carried on his back? And that every time he died, he descended into a hell he paved himself? I feel like you're speculating kind of wildly, dude. I think he just kind of looked at you. I'm not sure, but I keep thinking. I see those eyes whenever I'm alone in the dark room, or when I sleep. Even as I type this, I'm not sure I can take the staring anymore. Okay. Yeah, they should have stopped playing the game, I agree. I don't know why they didn't stop before. Like, why did it only start scaring you when Mario, like, became scary? Like, if there was a scary thing in the game, you were like, oh, you know, it's just hallucinations. I got a nightmare about it. Like, you were clearly already scared of it. You could have stopped. Anyway, this one, kind of bad. Like, it was giving Sonic.exe, but, like, not in a funny way. I'm gonna give this one, I don't know. Because it wasn't terrible. It was just not interesting, which is unfortunate. a casualty of art. If you like it though, that's fine. And if the person who made it watches this, which they probably won't, I want to say thank you for writing that. It's important. There's another one from the Some Ordinary Gamers wiki. I don't know what that is. I don't know why these were on here. There's a couple more on the Creepypasta wiki. Like, they don't have credits. It's upsetting. But anyway, this one's called Going Beyond Hell Valley. You can see here the famous Hell Valley sky trees. One of Mario's actually scary things. Like that one silhouette at the ghost house in like World 4 of Mario Land or something. It's fun. They're cute. I like them. Let me tell you about myself. I enjoy reading creepypastas, great start, and watching videos on eerie video game secrets. Most creepypastas are pretty entertaining. Do you guys agree? Comment down below if you think this is pretty entertaining. I always thought they were just fake. Oh, how I was so wrong. See, I'm not familiar with what Some Ordinary Gamers is, Maddie. I didn't look that up. I presume they're pretty normal though. I presume they're pretty ordinary. One creepy gaming thing I heard about was the Hell Valley sky trees from Super Mario Galaxy 2. But as most people knew about it, really didn't give it much research. I did though, because I'm not an average person. I'm actually not an ordinary gamer. I'm actually better than everyone else. I mean, they're not hard to find. They're literally just in a skybox. Like, they're not obscure. I saw a video about a mysterious ghost that appears at the end of each Ghost House level in Super Mario 3D Land. That's literally the shit I just said, dude. It's not obscure. If you wait a while at the flagpole area, a mysterious misty face and thin body appear behind the fence, unreachable and untouchable. All it does is stare at you with two small, soulless eyes until it suddenly opens its previously unseen mouth, as if it was screaming, and just simply fades away. Is this music supposed to be scary? Sorry, what is this? Animal Crossing Halloween? Fuck you, Animal Crossing. You're not cool. Yeah. They're literally normal. They're literally normal ghosts. It's a cute Easter egg. It would scare a child. That's the point. It was difficult to see in the video. But then I got my own copy of the game. Sure enough, I waited at one ghost house and the entity appeared. This story still has more though. You're just talking about real things in real video games. This is not... You're not making anything up. Another thing in Super Mario 3D Land is that while looking through binoculars, I featured certain levels. In one level, one can see a UFO. You're just detailing regular video game secrets, dude. Why are you writing this like it's fiction? Why did I tell you all that, you may wonder? Well, because some people theorize that the Hell Valley sky trees are some unknown aliens. I believe they came in that UFO in Super Mario 3D Land, and that they're those ghosts. But they're getting closer. What are you talking about? You just listed a bunch of regular Mario things, and then you were like, and I believe that they're all connected, and it's okay. No, it's fine. I should be making fun of this child. This music is awesome. I'm glad you like it, honey. I don't know, it's not giving reading. That's been the hard thing about listening to music while reading. It's been distracting. But for the content, I have to suffer. You know, there's no beauty without pain, as the kids say. Okay, yeah, go ahead and... I mean, that's what this person's doing. That seems like a lot, but I still wanted to find out more about these trees. So I went to the local forest. So I did just that. I went to get a copy of Super Mario Galaxy 2 and immediately played it until I could get to Shiverburn Galaxy. But when I went into first-person mode, they were not there. I was confused, so I went back to regular third-person mode. What I saw made me shriek. The trees were standing around Mario. Then they suddenly grabbed him and he screamed. Not a regular silly scream. Fucking silly scream. A blood-curdling scream. Very different. Of pure terror and shock. Suddenly, Mario just disappeared. Really, he was just gone. The figures turned their heads towards the screen. No, not the screen. They were staring at me. They didn't look normal either. Their eyes were a bright red, and they had disturbing lamprey-like mouths. They're like fish? They're realistic now? Realistic blood? Then the death music played as the screen went to black, leaving their red eyes to leave last. Leaving their red eyes to leave last. Instead of me simply losing a life and getting back to playing, a message appeared. Seek no further, thou foolish man. Oh, the aliens are using thou. That's serious. They're seriously dignified type characters. In large white letters. The letters seemed as if they were written by an expert calligraphist. And damn. Yeah, these guys are fucked up. Not only do they use fancy old words, but they can write well. Get out of there, dude. The game began to act perfectly fine. I didn't get it. What just happened? I asked myself. Of course, I had no answer. I didn't care what that message had said. I had to find out what in all things holy just happened. As I said, I was very interested in creepypastas, but I didn't want to know more because of that. I hadn't even thought of that. I was just confused, and I usually think logically, but I had no explanation for what happened. I tried all that I could. I asked people on forums about it, but no one replied. Nintendo offices. Again, no answer. I even tried hacking the game and looking at the files. Not one answer. I was still scared at this time. I had seen the event a day before. I tried to get info from people, and I decided to get some sleep that night. Big mistake. Realistic eyes, realistic red. Okay. Yeah. I will. I'll eat all the pasta. I'll fill my tummy up full. I hope your shift keeps going. Okay, honey. That night I had a nightmare, and I don't usually have nightmares. I saw nothing but blackness. Suddenly, 6 plain white eyes appeared in the dark, and they changed to glowing red. A fanged mouth appeared below each pair. So are these like shroobs? Are they giving shroob? As I suddenly found myself against a corner in the dark with these things approaching me, of course I knew who these figures were. Who were they? And then I woke up. I was hyperventilating and in a cold sweat. I looked at my window. It was still dark, about 3 a.m. I would say. I was scared, dazed, and confused, but I still wanted some answers. I was a fool. As they say, curiosity killed the cat. Oh, bro is a cat. Straight up mewing. I was still breathing hard, and I slowly got up from my bed, turned on the light, and switched on my TV. I booted up my Wii and then it was automatically on Super Mario Galaxy 2. Roll. Title screen was up for not even 2 seconds when it selected my file all by itself. I almost screamed when I saw the file. It was my Mii's face, but with no eyes and a frown. Goddamn. All the eyes had to go to the other story. We don't get any eyes for this one. We ran out of eye budget for the stream. His face was bruised and beaten, and I heard a scream from the TV once the file went away, and the screen went black. The game was still acting weird as the game started up on Shiverburn Galaxy where the trees were at originally, but not with Mario flying into the level and into the start. It somehow abruptly started on the cliff where the figures started from, which is unreachable. It's not even geometry, dude. It's a skybox. And Mario just stood staring at a mysterious patch of light. I tried to use the nunchuck, but it was ice cold. Awesome sentence. No, it was colder than anything I've ever felt. I quickly pulled my hand back as Mario just limped towards the patch of light. Somehow, once he set foot on it, he screamed in pain as the sickening sound of bones being violently snapped was heard. He went completely pale and fell. They broke all of Mario's bones? That's what we're going with. Once again, the screen changed, and what I saw was horrifying. There was dead Mario from just before placed on the ground, and the 3 trees were standing over him. Mouths opened and eyes staring right through me once more, with nothing but static sounds playing. The only thing illuminating them all was a dim red light. Before the screen abruptly went to black, there was another message. We told thou to stop. Thou did not listen. Thou must pay for what thou hast done. Thou didst not listen? Why are we doing this but we're doing the thous and the haths? Then all of the power in the house cut off. That was a week ago. I am still scared. Yet, I've told nobody of my experience. If you're reading this, I have some advice. Don't try to find out about them. Trust me. Oh, here we go. This is a homicide investigation. 10/16/2012. The paper above was found in the right pants pocket of the victim. The victim was found in the center of the living room. Investigators believe the cause of death was cardiac arrest, believed to have happened at the same time that all of the victim's ribs had somehow been broken. No weapons or suspects have been identified, and the case is suggested being deemed... Wait. But Mario 3D World wasn't out in 2012. What? I'm not fucking crazy, right? Mario 3D World was like a 2015 release, right? 2016? I forget when the Wii U came out, but it was not in 2012. Did I paste the date wrong? Is this for the lower story? I mean, the bone snapping lines up with the above thing. No weapons or suspects have been identified, and the case is suggested of being deemed for dropping due to not having enough information. On further note, all televisions in the house have the same large cracked pattern on the screen, and the only computer in the house cannot be turned on. A Wii console was found but cannot be turned on due to an unidentifiable disc melted inside of it. The image attached to this case file are 3 figures, described from the video game. No further clues could be found for this investigation. Oh, 3 figures. Okay. Yeah, so that is for the above story. But what? Isn't Super Mario 3D Land like a 2014 game? Hold on. Looking this up now. Okay, no, it was a 2011 game. Okay, I'm just fucking high. Now let's check 3D World. Did World come out in 2012? No, it came out in 2013. Fuck you. Gotcha moment. You couldn't have referenced World in this story. Got you. I'm mostly just confused because I didn't get the Wii U on launch, I suppose. Anyway. That one was funnier. I liked how it kind of started tame and built up to the supernatural elements. Yeah, cool. I'm glad this guy got killed. I mean, not I'm against murder generally. This one's Mario 128. This one's a serious creepypasta. This is an old one. This one is actually 2012 by K.I. Simpson, or K.L. Simpson. I'm bad at the capital I on computers. In some fonts, it's indistinguishable from a lowercase l. It's probably capital I though. K.I. Simpson, and Simpsons is funny. I'm sorry, I had to point that out. Now this one's kind of personal for me. And by that I mean it's not personal for me, it's personal for Maddie, who, he's not watching right now because she's at work, but... As a kid, she didn't know that the Mario 128 demo was real, and she thought it was just the creepypasta. So that's the fun little hook. This is a serious one. It will probably take the rest of stream to read. It's very long. But after that, we do have some stupid shit. We have one very short one about Mario saying the F word. And then we have a bonus one that's not even about Mario, but I did write it. So that's like for freaks, you know. Anyway, the serious one. Mario 128. Mario has been a gaming icon for decades, present in countless titles. Although no year in recent memory has gone past without some type of Mario game being released, series fans will remember the nearly decade-long drought of Mario original platformers. From 1997 to 2005, nearly decade long. I mean, I guess 8 years is nearly decade long. That's not a lie. That just feels like a little bit of an exaggeration. There's only a single new one released, Super Mario Sunshine. During the second part of this drought, after Sunshine's release, the mysterious Super Mario 128 was the main focus of the fan base. No concrete information was given on the game, and eventually series creator Shigeru Miyamoto claimed it had simply been a series of test concepts that were never intended to be an actual game. The mystery faded from memory as the Mario drought finally ended, and most people forgot about the game that had once been the center of every Mario fan's imagination. I think you're projecting a little bit. I don't think that many people gave a fuck. The Mario drought corresponded with a bad era for Nintendo in terms of console sales. The Nintendo 64 and GameCube did not have the financial success of the earlier Nintendo Entertainment System and Super Nintendo, or the later Wii. For a very proud company that relied solely on video games to make money. Well, I mean, it's mostly the consoles that make the money, I thought. It was quite upsetting for the higher-ranking employees who were attached to the company and felt the success or failure reflected on them personally. Nintendo started working on a sequel to the 1996 Super Mario 64 shortly after the game was released, but during the late 90s, it became clear they were not winning the console war. The Super Mario 64 sequel was restarted from scratch since the company believed that it was not a substantial enough improvement over the original to turn the tides of the market battle. Seeing the generally more realistic and violent games on Sony's PlayStation, they decided to make an evil Mario. This makes perfect sense. The market leader, Nintendo, it considered making a Mario that was a bit closer in tone to what the public seemed to want. There was a bit of internal conflict over how far to go with this new direction. Should Mario kill people? Should there be realistic blood? And the new Mario was clearly not going to be ready until Nintendo's next console, the GameCube. I've never seen it written as one word. It's probably supposed to be one word. God, what a child of the 2000s I am. The GameCube being just slightly before my time. How embarrassing. The only hint of this released to the public was a comment by Miyamoto. He apparently thought Mario and Luigi should act more like grown-ups. And by that he means kill people in their games for the then soon-to-be-released GameCube. The new Mario project was ultimately split into two games, Luigi's Mansion, which reflected the darker tone that many felt the series should turn to, which I like that horror games are synonymous with, like, Call of Duty here. Like, GTA is obviously the same as a horror game, clearly. Although it was still toned down quite a bit compared to what some Nintendo executives and developers wanted, and Super Mario Sunshine, which went in the complete opposite direction. Both were released within a year of the GameCube, and Nintendo felt confident that their new system in Mario games would return them to their former glory as a market leader. As those familiar with gaming history know, they didn't. The GameCube did even worse in market share than the Nintendo 64, and the mass market's taste shifted even more towards violent, realistic games. During this period, the somber mood of Nintendo intensified, and the darker Mario project was revived. Codenamed Super Mario 128. Oh, I need to drink more water, dude. I'm rasping up. I haven't read like this in a long time. This is a serious challenge for me as an orator. Schmorator. It isn't clear exactly what happened at Nintendo during this period. As we know, nothing called Super Mario 128 was ever released or publicly shown. The source that revealed the internal strife at Nintendo during the latter N64 era refused to discuss what was happening during the time of the GameCube's failure. Whole manufacturing of scarce information, good stuff, but released a prototype of Super Mario 128 online that can be played on the Wii Homebrew channel. The following is a recollection of my time playing it, in case where we get scared. Case where we can get scared. The game was clearly in early beta. The title screen was nothing but white text saying Super Mario 128 against a black background. There was no options menu or save file selection either. After the title screen, the game started. Bowser's laugh from Super Mario 64 looped in the background, while a plain text box displayed this dialogue. Mario, I have taken Princess Peach. She will not live to see the sunrise tomorrow unless you take her place. You know what to do and where to go. Do not try to stop me unless you want to hasten her death. The ritual sacrifice? Mario gets married instead? Is Bowser bisexual? And he'll die bisexually. Mario gets sacrificed bisexually. I need to keep reading. I don't have time for stupidity and foolishness. The music is definitely hastened to keep with my pace. I'm feeling pressured. The game certainly was going for a darker tone. After I made the text box go away, I was thrust right into gameplay. The first thing I noticed was Mario's character model. His body was as detailed as in Super Mario Galaxy, although a little more realistically proportioned. What, like he had like huge tits? Like what's going on? Broad shoulders Mario, big hands Mario. Rock solid abs Mario. But his head was taken from SM64 character model. Obviously his design wasn't finished yet. The setting was the sky level. There were some simple platforms floating in the air. The rest of the area was just blue sky. The Twitter clone. With several clouds scrolling around in the background. They were quite graphically impressive, more realistic than the The usual cartoony puffs in Mario games. The actual cartoony puffs. Okay, so everything's realistic. In this Mario game, it's all realistic blood. That's good to know. There was no music or full voice samples from Mario, but there were sound effects, grunts when he jumped. The jumping was more subdued. What does it mean that it's subdued? Like he like kind of just like hops a little bit off the ground. They made him normal. Than in other Mario games, he didn't jump as high as he usually did, and you had little control over his movement in the air. Okay, so it's a worse platformer. The different types of jumps in every 3D Mario weren't present. I played through the level. There's nothing especially notable about the gameplay. Enemies didn't seem to have been added yet. I just jumped from platform to platform. It wasn't very challenging. As I continued, I noticed the graphics gradually changing. The sky became more and more obscure until it was entirely composed of clouds, and the background gradually turned to a dark gray. After this, it started to rain. I reached a small platform with a toad on it. It looked like the Super Mario Galaxy model. When I landed on this platform, dialogue appeared. That's pretty crazy. The talking is pretty scary. We don't want you anymore, Mario.
We don't want you anymore, Mario. You don't belong here. Just give Bowser what he wants. Die.
Wow, that's some serious tongue from Toad. You show him what's what, you can kill him. After the text blocks went away, I no longer had control of Mario. He just stood there for a while. Then he turned around and walked off the platform. His body seemed to go limp as he fell. Mario suicide? Nintendo was gonna put Mario suicide in a game? Eventually it was revealed that there was a realistic modern city under the sky. The buildings looked neglected, but there were people on the street. Mario hit the ground with a realistic sounding thud, but he didn't explode or show any visible wounds. He just lay there. The people of the city were walking by, ignoring him, although I thought I saw a few glance at him, cold, somewhat angry expressions. Okay, so Mario commits suicide, but he's actually okay, and he's in New Donk City. This went on for a few minutes. Eventually people stopped appearing. Mario got up. I was back in control, but he couldn't jump at all and had a reduced walking speed. And they've set you into survival horror mode. This is good. This is good. It's gonna be Raccoon City, Mario, Resident Evil 2. The large buildings of the city didn't appear to be interactive, so I walked down the street for a while. Eventually I found a small house that seemed out of place among the larger buildings. When I approached the door, Mario opened it. That's crazy. He's never done that before. That's pretty realistic. The screen went white and some black text appeared. House of Torn Memories. God damn. What is this, a Dark Souls area? What is this? Brightstone Cave Seldora? This seemed to be the level title. When I pressed a button, the screen faded back to Mario. He was inside the house from before. Everything seemed bigger than it should have been. The house from before? Like previously mentioned, or he didn't have a house before? Is it his house? Everything seemed bigger than it should have been. Not gigantic, but scaled as if Mario was a very small child. Oh, child abuse Mario. Awesome. The house was filled with normal objects covered in dust and signs of neglect. There were no people on the ground floor, just things like broken lamps and rotting food. I found a door that opened to a set of stairs going down, leading to a basement. In the basement, I found a dilapidated couch and a broken TV. However, what really caught my attention was on the couch, two skeletons that appeared to be children. Judging by their size, due to the scale of the house, they were still larger than Mario. God damn. Yeah, I guess who needs a super mushroom? Heyo. I mean, those kids probably could have used a little something. I was starting to get really disturbed by now. How had a Mario game containing this been programmed to this extent? Your guess is as good as mine, dog. And I don't know if this is actually a true story, guys. Chat, I was pretty hooked on the facts before, but now I'm starting to doubt the validity of this sort of thing. When I went up to the skeletons and tried pressing buttons to interact with them or the TV, but nothing seemed to happen. I was about to turn around and look somewhere else when I was nearly scared to death by a deafeningly loud crash coming from the game. What appeared to be Bowser seemed to have broken through the floor from below. I'm really unsure about this. And landed in front of Mario. I say appeared to be because he was nothing like the way Bowser is usually rendered. Okay. I keep making jokes and they like clarify shit. This is really, they're making a fool of me. The reptilian monster in the game had Bowser's basic brownish yellow and green color. See, brownish yellow? Oh yeah, no, I'm seeing it now. Simpson character. But it looked far more threatening than any Bowser model I had seen before. Is it Giga Bowser? Its arms and legs were far longer in relation to its body, and extended and razor-sharp claws. His green shell didn't look like it had spikes glued on. They were jagged and organic looking. The same dark green color the rest of the shell had. Yeah, you're just describing Giga Bowser, dude. That's just Giga Bowser. You ever played Melee? They made the textures realistic in Brawl. That's how you know it's, like, scary. It's mature. Mario has real denim. The face had small but intense pure black eyes and a mouthful of jagged teeth that took up far more space than they should have. Okay, now he's Nightmare Freddy. Mario was cowering in fear from this thing. A dialogue box appeared. You've kept me waiting long enough, Mario. I will taste flesh soon. You will finally surrender. Or sorry, will you finally surrender? Or does Peach have to die? I still didn't have control. Mario just stood there, shivering for several seconds before nodding his head. Bowserman impaled Mario with his claws. There was no blood, but it was clear from the animation and sound effects that the sharp digits of Bowser's hand had gone through Mario's body. God damn, they're really edging us on the realistic blood here. You really expect it would happen by now. And once with Moses, I'm gonna die, dude. I'm running out of words. My word count for the day. My quote is being met, dude. In one swift motion, Bowser dragged Mario up to his face and bit his head off. Again, there was no blood or graphic details left behind on Mario's neck. Just Mario's character model being destroyed. Green faded to black and white text. Another level name appeared. Mario's Eternal Home. Okay. Mario's Eternal Homer Simpson. Oh, Mario's character model was whole again when the level started. It was the only thing on screen besides a black background. He was floating, as if in space. I could somewhat control him. Oh, Mario Galaxy 3, let's go. But it felt more like I was deciding the general direction in which Mario would tumble, rather than fully deciding his movement. As I drifted towards no apparent destination, voices faded in. They were echoing and deep, telling Mario that he was worthless, that the world no longer had any use for him, that everyone would be better off if he was dead. Why are we bullying Mario? What's the point of this? High-pitched crying was layered on top of the voices after a while. It sounded like it was supposed to be Mario's cries. This really disturbed me. Mario crying is taking it too far, and I found myself fighting back tears for reasons I couldn't understand. This was affecting me on an emotional level. Me when I see a piece of art and it moves me, I don't understand why I'm being moved by this sad thing. No, my commentary is not substantive, dude. Now I'm being affected by this story, but I don't know why. The voices and aimless wanderings went on for several minutes until I spotted a light gray speck in the distance. I moved towards it. It took a very long time to reach and grew closer at a much slower rate than it should have. When I was close enough to make it out, I saw that it was a tombstone. It was a very plain one with cracks in several places. When I got right next to it, I could see writing on its surface. I turned off the system right after reading it. I'm not going to play the beta or hack or whatever this was again. There was a single word written on the tombstone. Innocence. Okay. I mean, that one was far more realistic than a lot of the others where the guy gets literally murdered at the end. Like, I could believe not, the pop Nintendo history, but the idea that you could play something like this on the Wii Homebrew channel. I'm sure someone fan-gamified this since it's, like, old. I could probably find that for a later stream. Yeah, I don't know. What were the children about? Why did Bowser want Mario dead? Why did we bully him? And that's the loss of your innocence? Really? I mean, sure, I guess. Let's just knock out Marius as the F word. Well, I know I teased my own writing, but I am getting kind of fatigued. And it is stupid. Not even Mario themed. So, comment down below if you want me to read that one. I mean, I don't really care. If I have spare time on another Evil Mario stream, I'm sure I could pull this up. Our final story, though, The way we will regain our innocence. Mario says the fuck word. It's an Oni plays bit someone transcribed. I don't know who these guys are. One night, I was playing Super Mario 64. I was playing as the Italian figure, Mario. After some rigorous jumping, I failed once, and the Mario fell to his doom. He came back from the painting and said, "Mamma mia, I got fucking killed," as he walked outside. I asked myself, did Mario swear? Did I hear that from the video? I didn't think twice about it until later that night, while traveling through Dire Docks upon my usual business. Mario turned his head in a 40-degree angle and said, "Shh, fuck." Then my mother comes into the room and asks, "Are you swearing?" And thin walls in this place. I said, it was Mario, not me." My mother grabbed me by the ear. She threw me into the bathroom and I went, "Ooh." She jumped on my face. She did the ground pound. She swung me around by the hair and said, "So long, Gabe Bowser." So you have an abusive mom. That's the real fear here. That night, I decided to revisit the old Dire Docks for further inspection. This time, Mario pivoted his face towards the camera and said, a word that would be bad on YouTube. I did peruse this one just because I was curious. My mother ran into the room, ran in holding the Mario manual, and started belting me across the mouth with it. Then she started cutting the webbing of my fingers with it. My fingers. My fingers became longer. She grabbed my lip and said, "If you ever act like that no good Wario again, I'll pull off your..."
I said, "It's Mario, Mom."
That's when my father ran in with Yoshi the Dinovore, who went,
Boya.
and smacked me in the face. On the third night, my dead girlfriend was in the video game and said, "You have to save me," or something, okay? Then I played the song of Healing Backwards, and it made the swear words retract back into Mario's mouth. The end. Yeah. So that's where we're leaving it. I hope you all had fun. I hope these were funny stories. If you're responsible for any of these, the 2 uncredited ones, or the 1 credited one, I don't know. Thank you. These are cool. This was not an easier stream for me. Reading actually is hard on you. But you know, I didn't have to ad-lib as much. Hopefully I was still funny. This isn't just, because I don't want to feel like I'm stealing this content. Fucking content, it's art, dude. This is art. I mean, it is. I don't know. I mean to say, we're done now. Thank you for watching. And I'll see you all in the scary hell place. Die.